Kenya has an agenda, but we are here in COP29 not as Kenya. We are here as Africa because the chair of Africa Heads of State and Government on Climate Change is President William Ruto. And the chair of the Africa negotiating team is also a Kenyan. So I'm speaking for Africa. And we have an agenda here, and we have a plan. Because we met as ministers in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, about 2 months ago. We came with what are our irreducible minimum for this COP. Our heads of state in New York at the Silence of Unga ratified. So COP29, in quotes, is a finance COP. So we must get right the financing issues around climate change. Irreducible minimum is that on financing, there was an agreement in Copenhagen of $100 billion that was never achieved, that there was no tracking system, that there was no mechanism to track it. Now we are bringing in as Africa a new financing mechanism of 1.3 trillion because the global south and most of Africa, we are the victims. And the polluters are here. So we want the polluters to pay for the victims. So we are coming with a new financing mechanism of 1.3 trillion by 2030. That's one of our key agenda. And in all this financing, it must not be commercial loan or commercial financing. It should be grants. And why do I say? Kenya itself as a country is a victim of climate change in the last 4 or 5 years. From drought, where 5% of our GDP was consumed, 2.5 million livestock was lost in the Asal region. Then we had the floods that killed many of our people. In Nairobi alone, I think 42 people died, but across the country over 400. So we are coming here as really victims of climate change, and climate change is real. And the choice for Kenya today, as I stand here, is between 3 things: climate change, from drought to floods to landslide. How do we deal with it? That destroys our infrastructure, that affects our budget cycle. 2, debts, the burden of debts. And I think the other key thing is the choice we have to make is developing our country, sustainable development. So on one side, we have the effects of climate change, having heavy burden on our economy. We have the debt burden, and then we have sustainable development. Our people want development.